Right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning right here on Enterprise Television. Now let's go to our main conversation for today. Until the president spoke on Sunday, his speech seemed like the one thing that was missing in the conversation as the hashtag End Bad Governance protests entered its fourth day.
Very true. But how Mr. President's speech seemed to raise more questions than answers became reminiscent of President Buhari's speech during the NSAS protest of 2020.
The big question here is, have the beautiful ones been born? Better still, have the questions been answered? Still with us in the studios to do justice to this is Olu Sheson Okwade, and just joining us right here is Barrister Vance Ofele, Barrister Law and the Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning.
And thank you all for being here today.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into this particular speech. Now, it's one thing, I know we have talked about this, or Nigerians have we talked about this comically when the president was giving his speech. You know, there was this viral video of someone reading along with him and all. Though it's been here and there, people have said that is how it's supposed to be and all. But let's get into the story itself and the speech. Nigerians have come to criticize this particular speech, particularly a legal stalwart, Inibehe Effiong said, and I quote, "The president only did what despots do. Ignore the agitation of the masses. Great leaders make sacrifices for the country, but terrible leaders like Tinubu only know how to sacrifice the country for their interest." Do you buy that submission?
Yes, I also put out a statement yesterday to that effect that on my Facebook page, which was published later by some media houses, that what the president did yesterday was an insult to Nigerians. He bypassed the agitation, the demands of the protesters. Then he went into a voyage and started making more promises. The speech was like a manifesto, a political manifesto. Now, he went later, at the midpoint of the speech, he went into some technical areas of things the government have done or things the government are putting together because the public will not understand those technical areas. It was deliberate. I monitored the speech. Then
what technical areas? I would love you to
he was talking about the fact that before now, the cash flow, for development was reduced drastically because of the subsidy they were paying. But now that they're no longer paying subsidy, the cash flow for capital projects, is now increased from 9 trillion to something, whatever it is. And that with that, the country have been able to service our debt very well and have come out reasonably so well. And now, if the people will be patient, the more there is more resources that the government will use to cater for their needs. And he went into some economics. So he was just doing all that just to talk. He just wants to be talking. He does not want to solve any problem. The agenda is just for him to be talking. So at the end of the day, he said so much, but said nothing. Because the people are talking about reversal of subsidy so that there will be provision for them in the economy so that the cost of living can reasonably reduce, so that they can access staples, they can access food, materials and all that, so that the economy can go back to where it was before he came in. That's exactly what the people are asking for. But what did he do? The speech was more like, Nigerians, you know what? You guys should be patient. You have to wait longer, and that whatever it is, the speech was more like Nigerians should continue to hope against hope. You understand? That there is no intervention on site, and that this is going to be a very long night. That is just the speech itself. So there was no atom of hope in the speech. There was nothing that in the speech that made it look like there is going to be an intervention, even if it's a short-term one, to cushion to reduce the hardship temporarily. The government will now work out the long-term plan. That's what the government should have done. That's how the speech should have sounded. But no, he was just talking about the fact that he didn't. At the end of the day, he made it very clear to Nigerians that this subsidy thing, there's no going back to it. There's no going back. That the country was making few people very rich and poor people very poor. And so taking it off, and then the country is now in a better state. The country is booming, is growing, the economy is everything. He now talked about the investors, 2 investors that have arrived and have signed the contract of $2 billion. Is it $20 billion, $2 billion, something like that? If you heard that. So you see, these are economic pragmatics that does not translate to the problem of the now. You understand? Whatever it is, see, the Nigerians don't need to consume speeches that will make them feel like the president is laying down more promises. Well, that's what he did yesterday. He came and laid down more promises. At some point, I thought it was a manifesto of a political party that is laying down again. Now, that is not what the people wanted. The people wanted a situation where even the issue of the rice that was rumored, I don't think, is that not fake news? The speech didn't go there. Did it go there? I can't remember, but I don't think so. About cost of goods and services and the attempt of government to make a reduction. Shouldn't it go there if what they put out before was true? It didn't mention things like food items. The only time we talked about grain and whatever it is, saying government is working towards. So the speech was a big disappointment, and it appears to me that Tinubu is living in. He talked about achievement that only he can see, only him can perceive. There's no other thing that we could see in that speech other than the fact that this is going to be a very long night. Nigerians should prepare to wait, because one of the attributes of a bad leader is that when he gets into office, the people will have to be patient until he leaves office, because things will get worse and worse. He has just shown Nigerians that he's disconnected from the people. One, he does not understand what is going on, or he claims not to know what is going on, and he's just pushing forth empty analysis, empty speech that have no bearing, that did not address the issue. And it tells you that the protest perhaps was a waste of time, because the leaders are not listening.
Thank you, Barrister Philip. What do you publish? So now, let me come from Wole Soyinka's point of view. He said the president has refused to address the matter in his speech. And he further said that he has further endorsed and empowered the security agencies to continue towing the path of impunity. And just this morning in Abuja, the DSS went to the house of one of the organizers of the Take It Back movement and arrested him. And his name is Michael Leonard. He is in their custody as at this moment. Now, looking at the statement of Wole Soyinka a night before, saying that the president is endorsing the security agencies to continue towing the path of impunity. What is your reaction?
Thank you very much. I want to lend my voice. I'm sure you know that I'm an advocate for this government because I always come from the spiritual aspect to say that they give you a government, just take it to plank and simple, because it has come from God. That's bringing the gift to us. We decided to let's have confidence that God has given us this. But there is one thing I always tell individuals: God does not give you people that will punish you. And that is the major problem that we are faced with this. I alluded to the fact of what Barrister Philip said. I expected a lot from the president from his speech yesterday, but no take-off. I felt a bit discouraged as an individual. The one that wasn't it is the area that Barrister Philip did mention. All those promises, I sat around. I could not see the dividend of some of those things. In terms of CNG buses, we were told that over 1 million buses are going to be converted to CNG. They've opened up offices, and I asked, as I speak, The only one I always say, and I think it's either one or two buses on this hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Painted.
Yeah.
I've not seen it up to 10. I'm always saying strategic time in the morning, and I've not seen two passing at the same time. There is a CNG powered.
Yes.
You know, people have asked me that, have we investigated that it's indeed CNG buses? You see, the area where we need to first address is the trust deficit. Even when you are doing that thing, people still have the doubts that CNG buses is petrol that is inside, because they've had a lot of deceit on the path. We heard about the injection of funds into the state governors, and some of us were against this as economists and financial person. That when you have a windfall like that, subsidy is gone, and you're having more influx into yourself, those things are supposed to be tied to specific infrastructures. You can imagine if we say we have realized over so much trillions, like the Minister of Finance said the first 3 months, and we are committing this in resuscitating the refinery. That is a specific, with timelines. That's the way we work in private sector. You have this windfall that is coming, the board are putting you on your toe that, what are you using this for? It's not enough to say you are giving to the state governor, who, as I speak to you, cannot actually account for some of the windfalls that they've gotten from the federal government. And like we discussed at the first instance, you can see the division we are getting from local government, because more funds are coming to the local government. So some people are strategically positioning for them to say, until we are intentional about addressing the issue of greed, which has actually emboldened corruption, we go nowhere.
Talking about, you made a very important aspect here. You talked about deceit on the part of this government. Dele Momodu has said that this same deceit is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu has used to cage Lagos State in the past 25 years. That he's working with the same template that he had in Lagos State and maybe having it in Nigeria. Do you believe the submission?
Yeah, what is Dele Momodu's submission? One thing I would continue to say is that when you say something, it must be widely accepted.
Does it really need to be widely accepted? Because it's playing before us. It's playing before us.
That's what I'm saying. When you say you've committed, okay, chunks of rice were sent to states. I don't know whether they say 20 trucks.
20 trucks
to each state. I asked, how many do we have in a truck? You see, maybe because I'm a finance person, they keep telling me that I ask too much of question. You must be able to provide that in a particular truck. You have 1,000, bags of rice.
It's actually 1,200 per truck.
Per truck.
Yeah.
That's what it
times 20.
When you multiply it by 20, that is just 24,000. I can tell you that if you bring that 24,000 to a sharing note as I speak to you, it cannot take care of the indigent people that we have. A lot of us know what we expend on daily basis to the so-called indigent. And that's what we said, don't give us this palliative. The money you use in sharing the palliative that you're actually offering, use it for the sustainability of businesses. People are retrenching on daily basis. There is nothing like small and medium enterprise any longer, because the cost of operation is unsustainable. And what you see everybody going the route is that they are now retrenching people, and those are the people that are actually going into criminality. Because you ask yourself, if the small and business enterprise are actually functioning and we are growing, it should move from you engaging 2 people starting the business with you to grow into 20 in the next 1 year. That was what we started with. How can you go when the monetary indices, speaking to interest rates, inflation rate, are something not to nearby? As a business venture, when you know that your cost of capital is as high as 35%, please, what margin are you going to give to your clients as your own profit on that particular thing, if you are going to borrow to carry out that business on their own? These are areas we expect. This money you read, that a dollar is about 1,681 to a naira is about 1,681 to a dollar. I keep telling people that vehicle that I bought 5 years ago is still the same amount. It's still the same $5,000. But by the time we want to bring it down, as at then, dollar was about 500 or 600. What's the cost now? 1,600. That's like almost times 3 of what it was. And somebody say those things are high. Can we work on those things that will strengthen our currency?
Now, why
give confidence to the people. See, as of last week, I got a call from a multinational in the country of massive retrenchment. People called and said, "Sheson, we are out of job now. We have come to see what assistance can you offer." Do you know the problem that is on its own creating to us? Small, you see, we can only grow when you allow the middle class, the small and business enterprise to grow. Somebody is going to engage 1, 2, 3 people, engage a cleaner, 2, 3 people. Let's take practically this organization. The cost of energy will not even allow you to survive.
Very true. Very true. Now, while you're, of course, talking about the real issues, you know, there's one question, and one answer we haven't actually, achieved here, because I talked about the issue of raised by Delay. Saying that he has kept, that this template is using for the federal government is what he has used in the last 25 years in Lagos State. But is this a problem of the system, or is it a personal issue, personal ego done by someone who doesn't want to see Nigeria grow? Because it's important we leave the problem in the board.
Yes, you see, but the one who is right now is correct. In the build up to the elections, we saw bishops emerged. They just came out from somewhere to sensitize. The deceit started from the election. You understand? Some people were paid to go and represent some other persons as bishop. We saw that. We saw vote buying. We saw how INEC was bought over. Okay? And they were actually given a target to ensure that the IRF will not work. They were given the template on what to use. You understand? So that was why when we were agitating during the election that people should vote this way. And they said, no, this is the way they will vote. This is the outcome. Okay? You see, because the truth is that he has talked about small and medium scale businesses and how they can grow. Okay, before the removal of the subsidy, you have small scale and medium businesses all over the place. They were building, they were at least doing, okay, if you have a sense of that and you benchmark it with the fact that some few persons are the ones these subsidies are being paid to, they have become so rich. If you benchmark it with the fact that there are small businesses and they're picking up, growing a little bit around that, what should be your priority? Is to take down the subsidy and frustrate those persons who are getting rich? Is that what you should do? And kill the economy? Or you should let them continue to get rich as long as you don't have a solution? Go in and brainstorm, look for how you get them. But do not allow businesses to die, which is the bigger evil. So when you are thoughtless, you won't even think of what else is the consequence of my action, my policy. Because it's not much about policy. In policy making, when you decide what you want to do, okay, the next thing is to look at what will be the likely outcome. Okay, you now look at your SWOT analysis and your PEST analysis. Is this policy going to, take more people out of poverty or drag more people into the poverty net? Is this policy going to affect import, export? How much would this policy, or how much is this policy capable of generating for us? You understand? So the truth is that the template is used to run Lagos, what is used to run Nigeria. The only thing he has not done yet is to use Alpha Beta to start to collect revenue for the entire country. That's the only thing he has not done yet. But even our courts in Lagos, when we go to file matters, lawyers, when you finish filing, they give you Alpha Beta receipt.
Seriously, really?
Yes, that's what they give you. It collects revenue from every angle. So the same template, maybe before the expiration of his tenure, he will start to use Alpha Beta to collect. Now there is a Remita, right? Remita, which is actually, so the only thing I want to call the same template is what's going on. The man by now is wealthy enough to take focus away from himself and focus on the people and see how you can drive And let me tell you, you could see the stint of arrogance when he was reading the speech.
Exactly, very true.
Yeah, you could see that even the person who wrote it for him, or persons who put it together, were people who want the status quo to remain. Because should you do anything to distort the status quo, they'll be out of job, they'll be out of relevance, they'll be out of whatsoever. So let the status quo remain the way it is. And when people are protesting, and you promise to address them, and on the day you're addressing them, you don't mention one among the demands that you did not address them. You just came to deliver a speech. That's what he did.
Which is synonymous to the subsidies gone on the day of inauguration.
He just came to deliver a speech, and the speech in itself is an insult to Nigerians. It shows clearly that it talked about the 70,000 naira minimum wage that he signed. Okay, which by the way was not part of the demands of the protesters. Okay, and that having that minimum wage at that level will change the economy. It will make Nigeria. The question you're asking, how many percent of Nigerians are in that net are federal civil servants or state civil servants? How many Nigerians are? So the man is not thinking proper. He's not doing the right thing. And we have to condemn it.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I picked up a quote from the president's speech, and he said, "My vision for our country is one of a just and prosperous nation, where each person may enjoy the peace, freedom, and meaningful livelihood that only democratic good governance can provide, and one that is open, transparent, and accountable to the Nigerian people." Now, how does President Tinubu's vision align with the current state of democratic governance in Nigeria?
I'll first ask, that statement, there is something is missing. Timeline. You give a promise that you have a vision, this will be. For some of us, when you have a vision, there must be timeline. You always have vision 2020, vision 2030. I'm saying that, okay, within this 4 years that you've given to me, part of my vision that after 18 months, I want to start saying how I'm bringing people and giving them that better life that they desire. It's missing in that statement from Mr. President. And I want to say this, I think Mr. President, against all odds, this is my personal something, and that's why, if you like, condemn Obasanjo from now till year to come, I always give him kudos. That is the man that will grant live interview and allow you to talk the way you want to talk, and he will give you response, not written by someone who is enjoying the largesse and not feeling the pain of the people. Obasanjo will come. If you call into their program, whether it's doctored or whatever, and you say your name is Chioma, he wants to speak to you in your dialect, express your pain, and let me respond to you, not in a speech manner. See, all these speech writers are benefiting from it, and that's why I picked up on my big brother, Tayo Amanuga, to say, bros, you come out and arrogantly speak as if all is well because you are comfortable. A lot of the when you are in power, you don't think about how they buy food. You don't even know how you have power in your house, because there are people who is their work to make sure that although Philly's vehicle, who is now the SSA to the president, his vehicle is filled with fuel even before you wake up. It's somebody's duty. You don't feel the pain. As I'm coming this morning, we still have queue at the filling station.
So what do you think the president is running away from? Because obviously there's a growing call for presidential interview. TV stations are calling on him. Come give us real-time interviews. Why do you think the president is running away?
Well, I believe that the people surrounding Mr. President, like I said, are the one covering him up, if you ask me. And he doesn't have that boldness to say, guys, I think I've listened to you enough. It's over 18 months in this administration. Let me talk extemporary to my people. Let me feel their vibes wherever they go. But even when you have an open wherever to engage the president, some people are out there telling activities of how things should be done. That is not what we need by now. Right. People like us have actually, we say we have confidence in some of the things that we thought we were going to be about. Things are not improving. Rather, it's getting worse day by day. Because I can't imagine, by the time you want to say you crash the dollar from 1,600 and you are giving us as 1,000, are we going to say you've not tried? But as far as we are concerned, you met it at 500 or 480 something. And you are saying that from 1,600 we've crashed to 1,000. When people sing praises of you, they will. But the fact remains that you have made us worse than where you met us. And that is the area we are asking, Mr. President. Multinationals are leaving because of the inconsistency in government policies. It's something. You are saying that two foreign direct investment have gone into sign agreement. How many people are they going to engage? What impact will that have?
Yes.
When we have about 10 of them excuse and going to the neighboring countries.
So while we talk about that, she also talked about the president having the boldness to ask his media aides, the writers, to give way so he could talk. Do you think the president has got enough economic strength and the dexterity to put on a good conversation anytime, any day?
He can do that. But we saw him then as the governor of Lagos State. He did a lot of that one-on-one interview with the media. Okay, he can, but it's not about the interview or interviews. It's not about that. It's about understanding what is on ground. The president is disconnected from the people and the economy. He does not understand when you say that the cost of Gary, a paint bucket of Gary, used to be this amount before you came in, and now it has gone here. So part of the deceit was that when he was coming in, he was speaking like he understands the people's pain. He was talking about Gary, wow, he was talking all those things. So it made him look like, this man knows the things that is required. But now that he became president, look at the speech. Did he mention why Gary, all those things he used to say? He didn't say it because he has lost touch with those. He has lost touch with those things he were doing were deceptive.
Do you think, is it fair to call that some sort of economic amnesia?
Well, whatever you call it, it's no longer focused on the basic need of the people. Because if the president speaks like that, it presupposes that he cares about the basic needs of people. You understand? But from his actions and conduct since he got into office, it does not look like he's ready to discuss those issues. That is why he left it and started discussing very technical issues, pulled out from the entire promises. From promises, he went into achievements of the government. From the imaginary achievements, then he landed somewhere, as I said, Nigeria should wait more for more time, more time, more time. So at the end of the day, what you have is, you see, this kind of speech, the moment the president ended the speech yesterday, Nigerians now understand what they have to deal with. Before now, they didn't know the direction. But after the speech, it became clear that this is going to be a very long night. And this night, people must engage.
So the issue there is a particular thing Mr. President refused to address, which I believe other people are actually saying true, and that is the level of insecurity. I listened to so much investment in the area of providing fertilizers, money for farmers and the like, and I asked, who are you giving the money to? People that are not protected to be on the farm. It's when you have the confidence that your life is safe, that you want to embark on going to farm and utilizing the money. So it's as good as we want this president to ask his lieutenant, who is actually telling him that they are giving money to farmers, to tell us the specifics of some of those areas, because we still heard about the level of attack in Borno, in Benue, which we consider as the food basket of the nation, and some other part of the country. So if you are pumping money for the farmers, who are you giving the money to? Can we have, like we have in the private sector, KPI, say so much has actually been given, we are expecting this, at least there are short crops that should materialize within specific time. How much of it have we seen come? That area was not addressed by Mr. President. And it gives me so much worry, because if the environment is not secure, there is no how the nation can prosper. And that needs to be addressed critically, to say that we can have the confidence of you traveling from here to the east to the north by road. Because you ask an average businessman now, you need to fly from here to the north. You know what it will cost you from here to Benin? What it will cost you? Or if you are mobile, you can go by road. But you look at the cost of insecurity. If you are kidnapped, how much they will pay? Because those kidnappers don't have to have your information about you. It's just a psyche. It's okay, this car that is coming looks like a big man car, not knowing that you actually borrow money to buy fuel in that car because of where you are going. And they'll pick hold of you, and people start organizing funds on how to rescue you. This area must be nipped at the bud. I didn't see an approach where you address the security apparatus, the military, of how we should nip it at the bud. We keep hearing that there's a marching order without anybody living anywhere or moving from here. If insecurity is addressed today, even if you decide not to reverse the subsidy that is gone, a lot of people will venture it. No sane person, no sane individual want to invest in agriculture as we speak because of the level of insecurity and this farmer clash. You don't want to invest your money, and at the end of the day, you hear that somebody somewhere from nowhere has gone to eat all the crops that you have used your added money to do. This must be addressed, and once that can be done, I can tell you, Nigerians don't need palliative. We can work and create that which we know is good for us as a citizen.
Thank you, Sheson. Thank you so much, and thank you, Brother Philip, for joining us this evening. Thank you, Sheson. It's really a detailed and interesting one. Earlier, we told you about the arrest of Michael Lenin, one of the leaders of the protests in Abuja by men believed to be DSS operative. Now, the news of his detention was made public by the members of the Take It Back movement. So there you have it. Michael Lenin is the national coordinator of the Youth Rights Movement, not a member of Take It Back as earlier stated.
All right, that's very true. And just before we close our shop for today, it's very surprising, but of course, it's still it's a reality. In 2014, the president we have today, during one of the campaign tours for Muhammad Buhari in 2014, said this: Nigerians, the only way to have steady light and fuel is to remove Goodluck Jonathan. And I promise you, in 6 months, Nigeria will be swimming in crude oil and fuel. Buhari will pay you all 5,000 naira monthly for being jobless. Our youths will be gainfully employed with our 3 million jobs a year. That's from Bola Tinubu in 2014, and surprisingly, in 2024, he is the president, but of course doing none of that. That's the situation we found ourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the size of our package for today. But please do well to visit our website for more information on enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igubike.
And I'm Choma.
On behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching once more, and bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of